What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to LTH. My name is Abe, and in this video I want to show you guys Crafty Controller, and we're going to self-host this on your TrueNAS scale device. Now this is essentially a Minecraft hoster, but Crafty Controller features a rich panel that allows users to create and run servers, manage players, run commands, change server settings, and view and edit your server files, as well as make backups with the help of this Crafty Controller. Now, don't forget, we do have step-by-step instructions for every video linked down in the description, especially for this specific video. So if you ever get confused, you can go down there, look at the notes, as well as copy any copyable commands. And this is what the server Crafty Controller dashboard looks like. So as you can see, you can create servers by clicking server, create a new server, and then click the parameters that are relevant to you, like Neo, Forge, Vanilla, Fabric, Paper, whatever. But if we go back to the dashboard, once you have a server created, you can see the status of it, its memory utilization, and you can click on it and mess with common things like execute commands, restart, stop your server, look at your server logs, schedule tasks, create backups of your server to save to your local computer or maybe somewhere else. So if this server ever dies, you have a backup of your files, as well as you can go through and directly edit and change files, as well as upload files. Maybe if you want to add mods to your Minecraft server, you could do that here. Player management, ban lists, so on and so forth. But, you know, it gives you a lot of great information about your server. So let's go ahead and head over to TrueNAS scale, and I will show you guys how to install the Crafty control panel. Go ahead and log into your TrueNAS device, and once you've logged in, we need to create a dataset. Now this dataset is where all the information for our Crafty 4 dashboard and Minecraft servers are going to be stored. So we can go ahead and click dataset on the top left, and then from here on the right side, this blue button, we can see add a dataset. So we're going to go ahead and create a dataset, and we're going to name this Crafty 4 and leave the dataset presets as generic. Now there's 5 things or 5 datasets we need to add to this folder, this directory. And so make sure it is selected. We can see that it is highlighted. And after it's been highlighted, we're going to go over here and click add a dataset. And now we're going to add 5 datasets. There's going to be a config storage dataset, just like so. So I'm going to leave it no spaces because it will not allow it. And then I'm just going to capitalize the first letter of each word and click save. And then once that's created one, we can see now it's within this Crafty 4 folder. Now we need to go ahead and click the Crafty 4 main root folder again, so that we keep adding subfolders into this main folder. As you can see, when we use the arrow keys, that allows us to create it in here. If we do it from here, it'll create another subfolder and it will get too deep in the file system. We need everything to be created within this Crafty 4 folder. And then we're going to go over here and click add dataset, and we're going to do server storage and leave this all as generic. Now, I will have it, again, linked down below, the 5 datasets that you need to create, but let me show them to you right now after I've created all of them. So here we go. Now that you can see, they are all at the same level, and we have 5 specific ones. So if you'd like to pause right now and make these 5 specific folders, please go, or datasets, I should say, please go do that right now. The next thing that we need to do is create the permissions for the dataset. We're going to do that again by clicking the top root dataset and then going over here to permissions found on the right side under the permissions box and clicking edit. From within here, we are going to leave it as root, and then from group, we are going to type apps. Once you type apps, once you click this, it may switch to 568, which is essentially the permission for apps. That is okay if you see 568 right here. And then we want to make sure we click apply users, apply group, and then go over to other, uncheck those, but make sure the boxes are all checked for read, write, and execute under the user and under the group. Now, the last thing we want to do is go down here and click apply permissions recursively. Click confirm, and continue. And now we'll see another box has appeared to apply permissions to the child datasets. And so that is going to now apply these permissions to all the sub datasets, or there's 5 specific ones we just created a second ago. So I'm going to go ahead and click save. And so recursively, right, to the child datasets are these 5. These 5 are our child datasets. And we can verify that all of these have received the right permissions by clicking on each one of them individually and going over here and seeing that the root apps and users all have read, write, and execute. And we can see that they do. So they all have created or received those permissions recursively. Now, what we're going to do is install Crafty 4. So we're going to do that by clicking the Apps tab. And then over here on the far right, we're going to click Discover Apps. And we're going to type Crafty in here, and Crafty 4 will show up. Go ahead and select that right now. And then we're going to click Install, that nice big blue button below their logo. And then in here, we are going to change roughly 7 things. So first thing you want to do is name your application to whatever you would like. We're going to have the latest version. The next thing we're going to do is time zone. Set this to your local time zone. So I'm going to go ahead and type Denver for mountain time for my time zone. And then we're going to go down to our third thing that we need to change, which will be the host IP. That's going to be right here under network configuration. Go ahead and click add, and host IP like this is just saying, hey, we're going to assign this container to the IP of our TrueNAS machine. The next thing you need to do with under these network configuration settings is set 2 additional port options. So for the first one, we're going to set it to our Minecraft Java version, which is 25565, and that is going to be under the protocol of TCP. The second thing you want to do is add a second set and then switch this to 19132 and put this to UDP, and that UDP version will be used for our Bedrock version of Minecraft. The fifth thing we're going to change now is our storage configuration. So again, go down until you find that nice big bold storage configuration section. And now we're going to set these to our data sets we set earlier. So if this says config storage, you're going to set it to config storage. If it says server storage, you're going to set it to server storage. So I will just show one as an example. You will do host path. You will see this now appears. Find where your data set is stored. So again, we're going to go to data set. Since this one is config storage, we're going to find config storage and select it. So now these match, so it's easy to align them. And I'm going to do that for all of these 5 data sets, and then unpause this video and come back once you've matched them up as well. And just like that, we just have those 5 set. So if I scroll here slowly, you can see that I have all 5 assigned to their respective name of their data set. So now we need to set the last thing in a way, which is number 6, the amount of resources we're going to allow this machine. The more, the merrier, but I would recommend at least 4 CPU cores and at least 4096 megabytes, which is 4 gigs. In our case, I'm going to set this to 8192, which is 8 gigs of RAM. And then the last and final step, which is number 7, click install. Now we're going to go ahead and give this just a second for this to create itself and start it up. And then we will move on with accessing your Crafty 4 dashboard. After it's done configuring itself, we now can access the dashboard. So if you don't know what the IP of your TrueNAS device is, you can click the dashboards page and find your IP somewhere on this page. So in our case, we are at 196. So if I go ahead and open another tab, I'm going to type https:// the IP address of my machine, my goodness, and then the port number, which is 300146, and we'll click enter. And again, this connection is not private. That's okay. We're self-hosting this, so we obviously can trust this website. And now we need to type in admin for the username, but what's our password? So we need to go back over to TrueNAS, go back to our app, and then select our app again. And then down here in the workloads menu, we need to click shell. And then you can just click choose to enter the shell. And then within the shell, there is a certain location which the password is saved to. And it will be saved in the following folder, So you're going to do Control-Shift-V to paste into this command line. So again, Control-Shift-V, and we're using the cat command just to output our password and username into this container field. Go ahead, don't show anyone these, and write these down somewhere for you to remember. But to be able to copy out of TrueNAS from the command line, you're going to hold down your control key and the insert key on your keyboard. It's usually with the abbreviation INS, and on a full-size keyboard, that's right above the arrow keys, right next to the home and delete keys. So I'm going to do control insert, and that will allow me to grab those notes, and then I can copy that password specifically from my notes into the web browser. So now I can go over here, paste in that password, and click login. And now we're on our dashboard. You can go ahead and skip this survey, and you're in. So you can do something as simple as clicking create a new server over here, or doing it from the server tab right here, up to you. But I'm going to go ahead and click create a new server, Minecraft server, vanilla, my Minecraft server, and then set your memory. So again, we gave this container a max of 8 gigs of RAM. So we'll just set this specific server to minimum 2, maximum 4, as well as 25565 like we set earlier, and click build our server. So this will take just a second. We'll see this action importing, and we need to wait for these icons to show up right here. Now, don't just sit here because your server will never turn online. Go ahead and click start and agree to the Minecraft EULA, and your Minecraft will start just like this, and now it's online. Now you can go over to Minecraft, connect to your server via the IP address of your TrueNAS machine. Again, ours is this, or you can get it from your TrueNAS dashboard, and then put in the port of this machine, which again is 25565, because that's the default port for Minecraft. And you can even see that right here within our logs. Our Minecraft server is on 25565. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. My name is Abe, signing off with another video.